Good day, farmers. Welcome to my channel once more. Today, I probably want to say, after 5 years of farming, the greatest challenges I've actually faced as a farmer. I don't want to lie to you. I think by year 3, I was ready to quit farming. I was ready to quit farming not because I understood what I was doing, but I was at a point whereby it actually got to a point whereby all your resources that you had put into this had actually vanished. And when I said vanish, is meaning that I had put in all my money into farming. After putting all my money into farming, I had zero, whereby it was now living like hand to mouth. And once you get to that point, a lot of things do start changing. A lot of aspects do start changing. And the greatest aspect that does change is, are you able to take care of your family? And once that becomes a sticking point, that is when you start saying to yourself, is it worth keeping the farm, or is it time to sell it? I came to that realization after probably 3 years of farming, but I also then had to make changes after those 3 years. That's how do I keep the farm, and how do I keep motivating myself to making sure that the farm does things for me, or just a small plot. I can't say it's a farm, it's a plot, because if I say it's a farm, I'm expecting you to be thinking 100 or 150 hectares, but just a small little plot. So a lot of changes had to happen. As you all know, that when I started this farm with goats, sheep, 3 cows. That is how I started this farm, nothing more. In my first year, I cannot say I did anything, because in my first year I was more focused on gathering money to come and do the project, to say to myself I wanted to do projects. I came back to the farm and I said, let me quit my job, let me go and farm, let me go and do this 24/7. And I did it. I did actually do quit my job, took everything, packed everything, came with the money that I said that I'd saved, and I plowed it onto the farm. The first thing obviously I did was make sure that I had a place for me to come and actually stay, which I then built 2 rooms for myself, 2 rooms for the employee, and those were the first things that I did build. The greatest mistake I did make is I forgot to make sure that at that same time I should have just drilled a borehole when I did have the money. Because at that point in time I can say I did have the money, I should have drilled a borehole. The next thing I did was also make sure that I bought myself a car, a small a Mazda B1600, which I used for my farm activities, to make sure that I was able to go back and forth to the produce. That car, to be honest with you, yes, they say that it was a liability, but at the same time it actually made me money when I did not have money, because now I became one of those few people who was transporting people's goods to and from the farms to wherever they wanted, and I was getting paid for that. So it was not really bad for me to buy that car. The next thing I then did is I then did chickens, broiler chickens. It was something that I grew up with, and I knew very well about growing of broiler chicks and how much they make and all that. The worst thing about it was the market. When the market floods with chicken in Zimbabwe, it does flood crazy. And on top of that, if you do get a person who you supply these chickens to and is not very forthcoming with your money, it even becomes worse, because now you are the one who's given people your product, but you have not yet received your money, and you end up becoming a gangster to get back your money. And you really end up having to be hard-headed when you are really wanting to be nice to people, and at that point in time it becomes very difficult to trust in people. And you also get to a point whereby you do have chickens, or you do not have a market for them, or you do have sold all your chickens, but they're not making for you money. After I did the chickens, I then went and I started doing road runners. The road runners, people said, oh, you traditional people will eat a lot of these road runners, blah blah blah. Trust me, your markets in Zimbabwe, as much as we say that we are traditional and all that, people do not eat road runners. They eat broilers. Road runners, you will do loads of them. It's best that you eat them yourself, and that's what I've just learned to do here on the farm. Do road runners, I eat them. Make sure that I do, and I actually do enjoy my road runners. Never used to enjoy them, but now I do enjoy them. So road runners are for you, yourself, your family. Enjoy them, because we do enjoy them. That is one aspect I said. And those road runners, when they did eventually reduce in numbers, it really took me a long time to reduce those things in numbers. The next thing I then did is that I then went into the piggery. Pigs have got money in Zimbabwe, and I don't want to lie to you, they do have money, but have a market for them. Before you start them, look for a market. But also be very careful, because these things multiply a lot. Where you buy every day, you can be told that your sow has produced 8 to 12 to 15 kids, and all of a sudden those 15 kids look wow. When you see them, you're like, wow, this is my good investment, until they reach the month of, once they get to 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, that's when you start saying to yourself, nah, these things are too much, because now they're looking for food and you do not have money to be feeding them. So pigs have got money, but they need good care. They need a lot of attention, and especially when it comes to food. You really need to be very strong on your wallet when it comes to food. And that is the greatest challenge I did face as a farmer, having to have money to give to the pigs. That, with that project, it then killed my goat farming, because when I ended up struggling for money, the easiest thing was sell a goat, feed the pigs. And that is the world I ended up doing. Did I hate it? No, it actually did well for me. I got rid, but I sold a lot of goats. I could see that there was potential in goats, and once I started seeing that there was a potential in goats, as much as I had not seen it, I now know where the potentials are. So I am still, as you all see, I do pigs at the present moment. It's not, I'm not going to say to you it's bad. No, it is actually good that I'm doing pigs. But the greatest thing is, I had now got to a point whereby I had gone down to about 4 goats. Not only did I go down to 4 goats, I also got employees who did not have a heart for taking care of those goats. And when you get to that point, you are also in a bind. And by that time, I had also made a personal change in my life, whereby I could not just live on farming. I also had to decide to do a lot of consultancy work. So a lot of consultancy work meant that I had to move a lot out of the farm. And when you move out of the farm, you really get, and I got some consultancy jobs very far. And when I got those consultancy jobs very far, it made it very difficult to monitor what was going on the farm. And every time they would tell you, oh, the goat is dead, this is died, this is dead, there's no real way you can actually say yes or no to and argue, because you're not there. But the minute I finished those consultancy jobs and I started things which were close by, I always make sure that it's a very major point that I at least come once a week, unannounced, not to tell them. If they know that you're going to be here on a Friday, trust me, on a Friday everything will be looking spick and span. They just don't know whenever I'm going to pitch up. And I do not make sure that I only come from 8 or to 5 and then disappear. No, I do come and actually spend days here looking at everything, being very much involved in the aspect of everything that I'm doing, and making sure that everything is what I want it to be. The person who has the greatest vision is you, not the employee. You are the only one who has the vision, and if you do not show that vision, they will never understand it. And luckily, I've now been able to get a good bunch of people who work here and really are very investly interested in what my vision is. So at the currently position, what do I say about this farm? Or should I say plot? The thing I can say about everything that I've done is that, one, first and foremost, before you start, make sure you do have water. Secondly, make sure you do have structures. Thirdly, keep on researching everything that you're doing. If you want to start piggery, research. The greatest research is not just the books. It's not just these videos. It is actually going to people's farm and visiting them to seeing what they actually do have and how they take care of them. Because there are things behind the scenes that we do not show you that we do. It's a must to do. Like when we do mixing of formulas, or when we do when we do not have money, what to then do, what to then feed those pigs. These are the aspects that which we do not share with you, but these are the aspects that are very important for you as a farmer to get to know. Our deworming procedures, our vaccination procedures, very important. Those are things that are never shared properly on the video. If I tell you right now to go and ask how a vaccination program of goats, they will not show it. There's no one who shows you, because they will be saying it's trade secrets and all that. But at the end of the day, if you go to a farmer is going to share with you those kind of things, because I'm not going to be the greatest farmer by myself. We need each other to be great. And when I say we need each other, it's not only myself. I can not say that I'm great because I'm alone here. No. My next door neighbors have taught me a lot. One of my next door neighbors is really only a specialist in pig farming. So they have really been doing very well as a pig farmer. My other next door neighbor is actually a cattle farmer. They actually have a very big ranch close next to me. And when I wanted to learn more about cows, I went to them. And the procedures, when my cows got sick, they were the ones who told me what to do. When my pigs get sick, I go to the pig farmer. He will share with me what I need to do with pigs. I also have very close to me a sheep farmer who I actually do go and visit if I want to learn about sheep. So each and everyone will teach you something different. Learn what your people around you are doing. Another aspect that you also need to be very wary about is that not only are all these things that you're doing have consequences, but you also need to be able to get out of the day-to-day loophole of thinking that people are going to always be helpful to you. You also need to be able to say to yourself, what am I doing to improve myself knowledge-wise? And after I've improved myself knowledge-wise, what am I then able to do to make sure that the things that I need to achieve are done? Once you get to that point in time and you understand it, you will also be able to help yourself, improve yourself as a person. But not only that, you will also get a lot of understanding about your farm and whatever you want to do. Be it small garden, be it animal husbandry, all these things will become a second hand to you, and they will become something that you can do without any questions. So the last thing I also believe and I want to say is, if you have a job, do not quit that job. Stay on that job. Start all these projects. If you are working, please continue working. Do not quit, because unless when you quit is when you now know that what the project you are doing is able to generate for you good revenue. Then I would tell you to quit. But before that, please do not quit. Before you have structures, do not quit. Look at me, 6 years down the line, I am still building structures. Why? It's not because I do have the money. No. Sometimes this money is actually coming out from the other things that I am doing. Do I have any problem in putting money towards it? No, because sooner or later, when I do decide that I want to retire from working, I know that I'm coming to a farm or to a plot which has got everything, and this plot will now be able to sustain me. At the present moment, for it to sustain me, it needs a lot. I have spent so much money into it that when sometimes I do look at it, you're like, I could have bought another house in Harare or wherever. But hey, I've got no problem with spending it here. And when I look at everything that we do, I do not regret even 1 minute everything that I've done. Some decisions have been very hard on me. Some decision has been a major learning curve. I have destroyed structures, I have rebuilt structures, I have destroyed the same structure again. But at the end of the day, I have a passion for it. I've got no problem destroying, I've got no problem spending those kind of monies. And all I believe is that if you do have that motivation and drive whereby your goal is to have a farm or to have this, don't quit your job. Get right now started small. Even for those people actually in diaspora, what I would say, what I see a lot of people doing in diaspora, there is someone I know right now in Canada who is building here in Zimbabwe. That person is building a 30 sow unit here close to where I am. Their roads are extremely bad. I'm asking themselves, are you going to be here? No, they're not here. But they're pumping in so much money into it that within less than 3 months of them operating, they've already lost half of all those pigs that they wanted to start off with because they're not here. And the person has already come to a conclusion that pigs don't work. Let me close shop. What I say to person who's in diaspora is, and this is what I do say to you, yes, learn about farming. Want to come back and be a farmer. But as much as you do have money in there, start small. Why? Because you're not there. See what the people who you're on the ground with, see if they can, with the small little resources that you do have, the small resources that you do give them, are they producing? Yes, if they ask you for money for food for the animals, please give them. If they ask for money for medication, please do give them, because the medication animals will die in seconds because you have not given them medication. But the major thing is, some people start extremely large, and when they start extremely large, when the things do not work, because now when you start extremely large, you need to look for a person who is an agronomist or who is a veterinary or someone who has actually gone to school for it, not your family members. Your family members will not be able to do it because they do not see the vision that you do see. Their vision is whatever monies that I get, it does not really matter what you are. But you are the only person who sees the vision. When I came here, no one else can see the vision that I see. I'm the only one with the vision. The vision I then do share. Is it easy? No, it's not. And to those in the diaspora, I do recommend that do all these things with a very good intention. I know you want to have a great intention. Let me put my family members into it. Sometimes your family members are the ones who disappoint you the most, and when they do disappoint you the most, it makes you even want to hate this thing even worse, because you're not visiting here as much as possible. But start small. Make sure first thing, let them build you a house. Let them do for you the costing. I'm here also to help you. If you want to do costing in Zimbabwe, I can help you, because we also have family members who are there to to lie to you. I have family members who I've seen who spend so much money on doing things which when I look at them I say this is ridiculous, the amount of money that they've spent, because obviously it means that they're taking that money and pocketing it and not really helping you get to your goal. Their goal is their goal, and as I said, your family members' goal is not what you want to achieve. They do not see your